Hello, everyone. Welcome to Harv's World for impromptu Ehrlengrat craziness. I'm not going to say I've done a lot on this map. I haven't done a lot. I haven't had much time to play it at all this week. But I have done enough to, I think it was last weekend actually, to get a few things up and running here. Now, I bought this field, field number 3. I merged it into my other big field over there. But I cut part of it off and turned it into what I'm going to call as factory lane. That's what I'm calling it. Factory lane. So, and you can see I've just made a nice little placeable area here along this field. We have got Harley Quinn, Eric Kuntz, Altoona Gaming, Peter Tutton, and Farming Sins. Hi guys, what's up? How's it going? I hope everybody had a good week. It's been a long one, man. I'm going to tell you, it's been a long week. But, it is what it is. We do what we can do. And I came in the wrong way, so I'm going to have to strap back up and come out at a different angle. Good thing I left room behind my factories. So, yes, I've got my own spinnery over here now, and I have got a tailor shop. I mean, I've got my sheep anyway. I might as well get the wool producing something. And I've got those 3 big cotton fields, which, with a little bit of luck, I will actually get to today. Or tonight. With a little bit of luck and a little bit of help from Adolphus Coors, we're going to get there. How is everybody doing? Seriously, guys, how are you doing? Talk to me. You got to keep me going. It's really been a very long week, I've got to tell you. The challenges just keep piling up. I did manage to come home from work today and get an episode recorded, however. An episode of Off the Grid. There we go. That's all my wool. Hey, Sharko. How you doing, man? Yeah, Peter, it's just me tonight. Caveman is actually, he's braving that nor'easter that's coming in, the one that's threatening the East Coast. He had to go help an aunt move, and he's spending the night over there and has to head back tomorrow. I saw that, Eric. You're finally trying out auto drive, huh? It's actually, I avoided auto drive for a long time. I'll admit it. Mostly because I was just so busy I didn't have time to learn another complex mod. But once I got into it, I realized just how easy it actually is. It's not that bad at all. And man, is it ever helpful. It really is. Kevin, we need to talk sometime this weekend, man. No exaggeration. Sometime this weekend, you and I need to have a chat. It's a good chat. It's a very good chat, but I want to talk to you about something. So at some point, I'll either send you a text or whatever. And I don't want this pallet yet. Drop you off right there. Good. Anyway, yeah, I'll either send you a text and say, hey, when you've got a minute, give me a call or something like that. You know the drill. Okay, with that done, my sheep are still I'm going to have a problem with my chickens, actually. I didn't set aside any wheat from my last wheat harvest, and I've only got 9,000 liters. And how much do they have right now? 6,300. So only about 15,000 liters to get them through to another wheat harvest. I will, Kevin, I will. You're going to love this, by the way. You are going to love it. Set that tractor down. We're going to stand next to this tractor and we're going to sleep till tomorrow morning. I just wanted to get that spinnery running. Jordan the Canadian kid, how's it doing? Mr. Corbin. I'm always surprised by how many people drop in on Friday nights. Not that I don't appreciate it, just that it's Friday night. Now, this is a big bloody field at this point. It's a very big field, and I'm glad I bought this big planter because I'm going to need it desperately. Why are you? Oh, there we go. There we go. Your second cousin Jordan, then. Congratulations, Jordan. Congratulations, man. Or congratulations to your friend or your cousin. It does grow your fam. Hey, Farming Sins, I got a question for you, by the way. I noticed you dropped a message on the dedicated server that you were on. Did anybody ever get in touch with you about getting a farm together or anything? If not, let me know, and I'll try to hook you up this weekend when you've got a minute. I hope the sun comes up pretty soon. I really didn't want to do this in the dark. But it is September in, is this Switzerland? I think this is Switzerland. And I forgot that the sun's going to come up late this time of year in Switzerland. Harley, the more you talk in chat, the more I'd say you're a woman after my own heart. I'm telling you. I'm at home for I can't say that I hate people at all, but so what I've always been told is there's two types of people in this world. Generally speaking, I'm not stereotyping. I'm sure there's a mix of everybody, but there's two types of people. There are people who gain energy by being around other people. Like having other people around just excites them. It accelerates them. They get a lot of energy from those folks that are around them. And then there are people who have to expend energy around other people. They like to be social, but it takes a lot of their personal energy in those social situations. So when they're done, they're exhausted and they need to go home and rejuvenate. I'm very much that kind of a person. I love being around people. I love people. Obviously, you know, I hang out with you guys 3 times a week, and I think we have some pretty good conversations. Have a good time. Casual, especially on Friday nights when Adolphus is around. But I do expend a lot of energy. And so, yeah, I need to sit at home sometimes and just do my own thing and chillax and rejuvenate that energy, come back stronger the next time, you know? But everybody's different. That's what makes the world a great place, right? The old cliche, if we were all the same, we'd be boring. Yeah, we would get bored with each other pretty quick if we all did exactly the same things. Yeah, Sharko, go ahead. Why don't you post that link? It is Casual Friday, but Farming Sins family has been struggling with a very serious medical issue. His wife has been diagnosed with cancer, and they are obviously seeking treatment. Of course, you know, in the United States, that's very expensive. And one of the things that they're doing is, or his wife has created a GoFundMe to help them out during this difficult time. We've been posting the stream or the link to it in streams, and so we'll get it out there tonight too. And since Sins is with us, I really hope your wife is doing okay. I hope you're all holding up well. It's not just a struggle for the person afflicted, it's a struggle for everybody around them. You know, they care, and sometimes it feels helpless that, you know, there's nothing I can do. There's always something. Let's see. Da 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 da. I don't hate. I just strongly dislike people. Some people. I have days like that too, Harley. I really do. That's one of the things I love about the streams and farm sim in general is, you know, it really is filled with good people. Filled with good people. You don't really run into many jerks. And that's been a really really nice fact to find out, that the farm sim community is so incredibly welcoming and forgiving. Oh, I'm sorry, Sins. Well, tell her Harv and his community wishes her the best, and we hope things ultimately turn around for her. Sorry she's not doing so well today. Harv, what is logical progression from Ravensport, Fellsbrunn, or Mercury Farms? Honestly, Eric, I would recommend Mercury Farms. I actually recommended that to another guy who was asking about mod maps for beginners today. You're not a beginner. I think Mercury Farms, any of the Alien Gym maps with the exception of No Man's Land, are great farms for intermediates. Alien Jim likes to include stuff in his maps that can take some of the burden off of being a new player, such as selling diesel for a profit. You can do that on Mercury Farms. You can also do that on his map Washoe, Nevada. I liked both of those maps quite a bit. And since I live close to Washoe, Nevada now, but I played that long before I even knew I was coming to Nevada. Juliana, how are you? Good to see you again. It's been a while. Glad to have you back. Optimus. Haven't seen you in a while either, Optimus. Good to see you back, man. Well, Eric, Mercury Farms technically has tight yards and hedges. However, all of the hedges either can be cut down with a chainsaw. You just go along the hedge until you find a post, and Alien Jim is put in there. You can cut the post and it will take out that section of hedge. You still have to do like you would a tree, where you'd have to take a stump out. Or you can go over to the shop, and there's a little building behind the shop, a little shed, and if you go into that little shed, or not into it, but next to it, look around till you find a trigger, and you can actually turn off all of the hedges on Mercury Farms. They completely disappear. And if you want them back in the future, you can turn it back on. Kind of similar to what he did with No Man's Land. I think No Man's Land, there's a couple of things that you can remove all of the rocks and all of the trees if you don't want to have to fuss with that. At least on FS19, I have not seen No Man's Land for 22 yet. Oh, there you go, Optimus. Man, running back and forth from Ohio to Florida. Have you been reading up on your hurricane safety manual? Hopefully you're not in that part of Florida. Although I think about any part of Florida might be subject to hurricanes. Oh, thanks, Juliana. Yeah, I kind of suspected that. I just wasn't sure. Alien Jim is notorious for that kind of thing. Yeah, Eric, that was one of the nice things actually about Chellington. Um, Oxygen David's Chellington Valley was all of his hedges had no collisions on them. So not only was it a beautiful map, um, but no collisions. Why am I off on that lane right there? Hey, Forrest. I'm Forrest. Forrest Gump. People call me Forrest Gump. Life is like a box of brewskis. You never know which one you're going to get. Yeah, I loved Chellington Valley. It was a lot of fun to play. I had some pretty good storylines on that one too. In fact, that's really where Kevin came to light. I never played Gieselsberg. So many maps, so little time. I might actually get around to harvesting cotton on this stream. This, by the way, is Caveman's modded Kinsey planter. It's a multi-fruit planter. He did the Kinsey pack as multi-fruit. So these will plant any bloody thing you want them to. That's right, Forrest. Run, Forrest, run! Boiled shrimp, fried shrimp, shrimp sandwich, shrimp kebab, shrimp gumbo, shrimp soup, shrimp stew. I think that's about it. I love that movie. Oh, you're gonna take over. You're not just gonna. You're not just gonna. You're just taking over Ravenport. Eric Kuntz, the new mayor of Ravenport. Oh, nice, Kev. Glad to hear that, man. You know, when Ehrlengrat first came out, I really wasn't that keen on it. I was kind of like, meh. And I'm kind of glad I waited for FS22 to some degree, but um, since I've started playing it, I actually do kind of dig it now. Optimus, spoken like a true techno nerd, my friend. Ravensburg. I loved playing Ravensburg too. That was a lot of fun. And honestly, so far in FS22, I really do like Haute Baileron. I think that's a great map. Now, for all you dedicated folks, I've got a question for you. And I call you the dedicated folks because, I mean, the people that we see on Friday night are usually the people who are here for just about every stream, which is outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. Before I get to that, yes, you're absolutely right, Jordan. That is Oxygen David's new map, Calmsden Farm. I'm looking forward to checking that one out. And yeah, he did Chellington with no collisions on the hedges, so Eric, you cannot cross-platform mods. So, I mean, there are tons and tons of mods coming out, and more coming out every day. ModHub is pretty well loaded up at this point. I gotta tell you, there's not much of a mod shortage now. I really expected it to take a lot longer for mods to come out than it did. I really expected, 4, 5, 6 months, and we'd finally really start having a good selection. No, the modders just gripped it and ripped it, man. They're like, "Now we're getting on this early and often." So, even though you can't bring over stuff from FS19, there's plenty to go around for FS22. Hey, Mr. Swede. So, question for all you guys. Now, the Friday night impromptus, believe it or not, I do kind of almost do them every Friday, but they are impromptu. And I literally, I'll sit here and go, do I want to play? Do I not want to play? And I think it was 10 minutes to 8. Just before the stream started, I was like, let's go ahead. It could have gone either way, though, there for a while. Be that as it may, somebody approached me with an idea. It's an interesting idea. And I'm actually going to... I didn't share it on the Wednesday stream. I just said... I was hinting at what, a possibility. For a time, and I'm not going to say it's permanent, but for a time, the Friday stream could end up becoming... could very easily end up becoming a regular thing. And the reason I say that is because someone has approached me who does not have much experience with Farming Simulator. And they said, Harv, would you teach me to play Farming Simulator? Now, I'm going to tell you guys right up front, it's not everybody I would do this for. Trust me, I couldn't do it for everybody. I'd never have any time. So, and he said, maybe you could get it, maybe we could do it on the Friday night stream, or we could do videos, or whatever. You could record it, but I want to learn to play. I didn't really get to play 19 very much, and I hemmed and hawed about it for a while. I made no promises, but I said I'll think about it. And I'm thinking more about doing it than about not doing it. That doesn't sound right, does it? I'm starting to think it's a good idea. And I'll tell you, with the new job and everything, I don't have as much time to put into the channel as I have in the past. So yes, any tutorials for FS22 have been very, very few and very, very far between. But if I taught somebody to play on stream, I could cut video from that and post it as tutorials. So I could sort of kill two birds with one stone. And you guys would be there to pick up on any mistakes I make and straighten me out. So what would you guys think about the Friday night impromptu becoming a regular thing for a time, where I teach this person how to play FS22 in the fashion of basically in the fashion of my Ravenport walkthrough for beginners? Thank you, Lifehawk, and good to see you with us. Dim Snow Bunny, you are special, Dim Snow Bunny. You're very, very special. But I'll tell you, I'm going to wait for some feedback here, and then I'll actually tell you who this person is. And then you'll understand a little bit more about why I might be willing to do this for that person. Thank you, Kevin. Now, it would be a little bit different. I wouldn't be able to interact with you guys quite as much. Of course, there's going to be, some instruction, and then I set this person off on their task, and then we can hang out and chat a little bit while they're doing their work, and I'll sort of be watching them. So it'll be a lot more like recording a video and then having time in between segments to sort of interject. Well, thank you, Dadizo. Harley, you're too smart for your own good. Thank you, Stephen. Thank you very much. It's nice to see I am getting a vote of confidence. And Harley is right. Farming Sins. Oh my God, Sins. That is hilarious. That is hilarious. Hey, Wet Coaster. Good to have you with us, man. Anyway, yes, Harley is far too smart for her own good. Yes, it is Benjamin Corbin. He's the one who had the idea. And yes, he is my real life nephew. And so it's a family affair, guys. I couldn't possibly do this for everybody. So, I hope you understand that yes, Harley. You were very clever. I do like the Sharko idea, though. That's pretty good. I've actually been working on a new t-shirt design. I wonder if there's a way that I could show you guys the t-shirt design I've been working on. I don't think it's quite complete yet. It's a little bit off balance yet. I got to do a little bit more work on it. Yeah, maybe. I don't sell a lot of merch or anything. In fact, I sell very little merch, but it's still fun to put together. Let me get this cedar put away, and I'll see if I can't grab a picture of it. All right, bear with me for a sec. Bear with me. I'm getting there. Sort of. Let's do this. Yeah, you guys will get a kick out of this. Here's my new t-shirt design. What you think? What you think? Still needs a little bit of work. It's not quite there yet, but it's getting closer. There you go, Kevin. Pray for Sharko. Radioactive corn. Yes, absolutely. Eric, I'll have to balance that out, bud, and I'll tell you why. Because when I was learning to play 19, and that's really when I got tuned into YouTube to begin with. Before I even started a channel, it was the first time I ever watched any YouTuber seriously. And it used to bug the crap out of me. And maybe this is different for people who've played 19, but it used to bug the crap out of me when YouTubers would go, well, in FS17 we had this, 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 and this, but in FS19 we have this, 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 and this, and this. And I was like, who cares? I didn't play FS17. I don't want to hear about FS17. I'm here to learn about FS19, so shut up and tell me about FS19. How's my helper doing out here on his field rolling? He'll be alright. He's doing okay. How is my... Oh, I never turned this on. Durf. Harv. Hi, my name is Harv. I bought factories and never turned them on. Alright, Spinnery. I don't know which one to... Oh, I see. Yes, okay. Activate fabric wool. Activate fabric cotton, even though I don't have any cotton yet. I got 27,000 liters of cotton or wool in there. That's good. And right now we're making wheat flour. Good. There you go, Mr. Corbin. I warned him too. I said, if, you know, it's going to be late for you because he's on the East Coast and I'm on the West Coast. He's like, oh, I stay up late anyway. All right. I said, and it's not like you can say you want to do this and then, you know, not be there on a Friday night. You got to stick it through, man. So we're going to see what we can do. Now, the real question I have is what map? Because I've done all 3 base game maps already. I've got my Hope Baylor on series. We're doing Elm Creek with Caveman and Charco. And obviously, I'm doing Ehrlengrat here for my own personal playthrough. I was actually thinking about doing Calmston Farm by Oxygen David. Or would you rather see a starter tutorial back on Elm Creek? Oh, I was going to go check the flour mill. Well, Mr. Tutton, I have to tell you. Caveman, being the brilliant modder that he is, there is an auto load script that came out on ModHub this week. And Caveman has already taken that auto load script with the permission of the actual modder who wrote the script and has added it to all of the base game low loader trailers. So yes, I am using auto load trailers. Like, I have a truck with a flatbed on it over here. And I got a whole bunch of flour sitting here that needs to be loaded up. So if I jump in my truck, hit R, and it loads all the flour. Nicely, neatly, in perfectly even rows. I saw there was a new map out called Construction Map. I need a map because from what I could tell, the construction map is somebody who's effectively trying to kind of go the route of Alien Jim on No Man's Land. It's a build your own kind of thing. And when you're teaching somebody new, you don't want to throw too much at them too quick. And having a pre-built map actually makes a lot of sense. Excuse me. So, you know, having a map that has regular fields and all of that kind of stuff on it, I find kind of important. Right, Mr. Swede? The auto-load Flegel trailers came out this week. Hallelujah. Although I haven't done any forestry yet. But hallelujah. Those were my go-to trailers for FS19 and timber. And I can't tell you what a pain in the neck hauling or loading timber is with any kind of equipment. Staying up late working on a project. Oh yeah, sure. If it's the one I'm thinking of, Sharko has a very interesting project in the works. We don't want to give it away yet. After Wednesday night's stream, of course, we all hang out and do some extra stuff. Caveman had an awful lot of bloody sugar cane to harvest. Am I really going to be stuck with this? And we got to talking about certain mods. And so Sharko is working on a mod of his own. If he can pull it off, it will be very interesting. That's a mighty big if. You know, these grass fields are ready to be mowed, and I don't really want to mow them. Kind of important, Lifehawk. Being in English, keep in mind, I do intend to cut these videos or cut these streams into 1, 2, or 3 or more tutorial videos that will be posted as tutorials. So the majority of people who watch are English speakers, so I think using a map in English is probably going to be kind of important. Also keep in mind that it cannot be a PC only map, because if it's going to be like the Ravenport walkthrough, one of the things that I did and was important to me, and it's important to me again this time, is that this be for all platforms. So that anybody can come on and get something out of the tutorials. Now, obviously, a lot of my streams and a lot of my videos, we don't go... It's not exactly console friendly, but I think for beginners, you've got to take everybody into consideration a little bit more. Oh, I was very excited to see that too, Jordan. I was very excited to see that winch. The Tajfoon came out today. Yes. Error-free English and available to the masses. Calmston is a very solid choice. Yeah, it's a British map, Lifehawk. So, yeah, that's, you know, that's one of the things too that you have to take into consideration is what is somebody's play style. But when they're new, they don't even know yet. Until you play a few maps, you don't really know what your preferences are. And I'm not going to get too terribly involved in grasswork tonight, guys. I know I've done an awful lot of it in a lot of different places. Man, it just makes such good money. Oh, and I have abandoned the Anderson bale wrappers, by the way. They really screwed up our stream on Elm Creek. The bales broke. Like, the game glitched out on the bales, and like, we had 6,500 liter bales that were only registering 5,000 liters, and yeah, it got ugly. So we managed to get those sold off and compensated for and all that jazz. And the Anderson is a base game. It's in the base game. It's not even a mod. And it's such a cool and unique way to wrap bales. I was like, man, this is really cool. Something different. No. No, Giants. No. The walkthroughs are on all 3 base maps. And back to what Jordan was saying, I do love that Taj Foon winch. That is such a huge asset. It seems like such a small thing, but it's a small thing that does a lot. In my opinion, anyway. And since it's my game, I'm going to play it my way. It's Elm Creek. C-R-E-E-K, Mr. Swede. Elm Creek. Or if you're from the south of the United States, it's Crick. I'm gonna go play me some Elm Creek. I don't know that I ever heard anybody having any problems with it on FS19, Eric. And it worked really well for a time, but then I logged onto the map one day and I had about 120 bales sitting there, and they were all supposed to be wrapped together. You know, it's supposed to be a big snake of a bale chain, and they were all individually wrapped. And so the game had misinterpreted what they were and broke them. Darn it. That's a good point, Lifehawk. Thanks for bringing that up. Yeah, Black Sheep Modding they're pretty strong. They're a strong modding team. So, and the Old Stream Farm is a port from FS19 also. So, what have you guys been doing this week? Has anybody had anything interesting, exciting, or fun happen in their lives? Anything at all? I need to live vicariously through y'all. I'm either at work or at work. That's kind of the truth of it. Although I have gone back, I decided to go back and rewatch. When I go to bed at night at about between 7:30 and 8 o'clock, yes, I know, but I get up at 5 o'clock in the bloody morning. I give myself an hour and a half to wind down before I roll over and go to sleep, but I've started rewatching Clarkson's Farm again. And I still get a kick out of it. Cracks me up. Wet Coaster, congratulations, man. Very nice. Big work promotion. I hope that's not one of those promotions where they promote you and give you more responsibility, but your paycheck looks the same. Stay. Oh, with the temperatures, you're staying on FS to stay sane. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's true, Lifehawk. That's true. Bought a new truck just to get faster license plates. Okay. Very cool. And everybody, not that he's in trouble or anything, but there is a nasty storm that's going to be hitting the East Coast, and Caveman is kind of over there in it, and he's going to be making his way back home tomorrow. So, just send out good vibes to Caveman that his drive home isn't too difficult tomorrow. Very nice, Wet Coaster. Off-topic story. Was building a garden in the backyard, so I used a sod cutter to remove the grass. Told my fiance I spent the day removing all the grass from the garden and thought I removed it all. Oh. So, was your fiance pleased that you removed all the grass from the backyard? And that's quite a bloody chore, but at least you used a sod cutter. 2021 Silverado Z71 with a V8. Well, let's see. Considering supply chain and the way everything is right now, a used truck like that had to be about $247,000. Even used car prices right now are through the freaking roof. You think video cards are bad? Go price cars right now. Oh my gosh. I'm sure that's a sweet ride though, Optimus. Very cool, man. Mr. Coors, come and save me, brother. Oh, it's a 2021 though. Shouldn't the 2023 models be coming out soon? I'm not even being sarcastic. So it must have been a 2021 that was never purchased kind of thing. Well, that's a pretty sweet deal, Optimus. Cars anymore are just big computers with engines. Yeah, that's a fair argument. I miss your truck too, Kevin. I've got a picture of Kevin's truck. It is not pretty. I would say, based on the photo that Kevin sent me, that we are very lucky to have Kevin with us. I do realize that newer cars and trucks are built with crumple zones, so the damage probably looks worse than what it really was. And if you don't know what a crumple zone is, they actually build crimpings into car bodies and such so that when it gets impacted, it will crush in such a way as to take energy out of the crash and move it away from the driver. but Kevin's truck was a mess. It was bad news. And I'm glad you're okay, Kev. Seriously, brother. If I don't get this grass collected right now, it's not going to break my freaking heart. $2 per liter. And we get angry up here when it breaks $4 a gallon. A gallon, mind you. I want my $4. There you go, Kev. Absolutely, man. My brother's fiance is supposed to be getting a new vehicle soon. Supposed to be sometime soon. Your family, Jordan, is just always on the move, man. There is always something going on there. Not that that's a bad thing. I mean, that's a good thing, but it's always positive stuff, too. I like that. Too much negativity in the world. Jordan's always got good, positive stuff to tell about his family. Oh, but I was saying I started watching Clarkson's Farm again, which cracks me up. But one thing that I realized watching Clarkson's Farm, because I've kind of gone on in my streams a couple times about how I've never seen a farmer rolling a field after they plant it. You know, American farmers don't do that, blah, blah, blah. On Clarkson's Farm, they actually are rolling the fields after they plant them. They are coming back in and rolling them. And they're using a direct drill. So, whatever. That's what I get for talking smack out of school. Well, all I can say is I hope this supply chain business gets sorted out sometime in the not too distant future. Because if it doesn't, we're all going to need jobs that pay twice what they do right now. I'm not even exaggerating. Inflation is ridiculous right now. We're not doing politics. See, I've heard that from quite a few people, Wet Coaster, that they didn't like Jeremy Clarkson. I honestly didn't know who he was until I just said, oh, this looks interesting, and clicked on Clarkson's Farm. I never watched Top Gear or any of that crap. But I find him pretty funny, and I don't know. He seems to have a lot of humility. At least in this show he does. Because he plays the village farming idiot. He's never farmed before and he's making all kinds of stupid mistakes. And he's got this helper with him this kid, young guy in his early 20s, who's not afraid to tell Jeremy Clarkson when he's being an idiot. So I kind of get a kick out of that too. Yeah, they don't pull too many punches on that show. And it has been approved for a second season, which is good to hear. I'm looking forward to that too. Many parasites. That's right, Optimus. I'm not going to try to recite that formula you posted, but many parasites. Yeah, that's good enough. That is very, very much good enough. Oh, and I just realized that when I started my factories, I didn't check. Okay, so the fabric is storing. Okay. I guess by default they store. I haven't done much productions yet on FS22, so I wanted to double check that while I was thinking about it. You guys. A liter also equals 0.001 kiloliters. Apparently, Snow Bunny's not quite as dim as she likes to make out. I used to know a girl in high school. Okay, I knew more than one, but there was one in particular that I'm thinking of right now. Her name was Cindy. She used to sit next to me in band. She was a grade higher, older than I was. And if you sat down and talked to her, you'd think she was the ditziest girl you ever met in your life. Like, just goofy, no common sense, didn't have a brain in her head. And I'm not saying that because she's a girl, I'm saying that that's the way she behaved. This girl graduated third out of 580 people in our high school. She was brilliant, but she really put on a persona of ditziness. Killer Films. Oh, glad to hear you're doing good. I too am doing good. Adolphus Kors is doing good. And that's what really matters. Clarkson abruptly exited the Car Focus TV series in 2015 following a physical altercation with producer. Oh, wow. Well, it's not like a rich entertainer ever had an attitude or an ego. Alec Baldwin. Xbox clan name. Okay. Well, how are we supposed to know, Dim, without you explaining it to us? So, you have my apologies for the assumption. I will say that. I've never heard of the clan Dim. What game were they associated with, or was it kind of a multi-game clan? Because that's pretty cool. I think she could have been Steven. I think Cindy could have been Reese Witherspoon in Legally Blonde. I don't know whatever happened to her. Lost track of her after high school. She's probably a doctor, a lawyer, or an Indian chief at this point. I think for most of the time, I do just call you Snow Bunny. I think I've dropped Dim for the most part. It does crop up every once in a while. This might be the last grass I ever do on this map, I have to tell you. I'm kind of sick of grass. A D student to a straight A student in grade 6 or 7. Nice, Sharko. Oh, okay, Halo. That was one game I never played. I've never played Halo. I think the first online gaming I ever did with a clan was for MechWarrior. It was when MechWarrior 2 was big. And this was before, it was built into games. We actually, met up in a chat room. And we would have to launch the game independently. There were no servers or anything like that. You just direct connected to whoever you were fighting. And if you had any kind of internet lag, on your screen, you're seeing this MechWarrior. Oh, I'm terribly sorry. I just smacked the crap out of my microphone. I apologize. I know that's horrible sounding, especially if you've got headphones on. But if you've got an enemy running across the field in front of you, on your screen you literally had to shoot 10 or 15 feet ahead of them. You had to manually compensate for lag. That's right, Eric. That's absolutely right. Those were the days. That's exactly what I'm talking about, man. I loved MechWarrior. Had a blast. I better go check on my field roller. Now this field right here, I'm going to leave this fallow over the winter. I'm not even going to plant it. Not putting nothing on it. Oh, look at that. I've done this several times. I will finish mowing the other end of this particular field and then forget that this is down here. That's right, Optimus. Those were the days when Henry Ford built our computers and we liked it. My first computer was a Model T. Jordan, yes, grass is becoming a pain in the grass. It's not that it's, there's nothing hard about it. It's stupid, painfully simple. It's just, and no exaggeration, it's the best frickin' moneymaker in FS22. Especially if you're playing seasons. Because it's consistent, constant money. You can take 4 harvests off of it every year as opposed to 1 harvest off of anything else that you're doing. Oops. Three ducks in a man costume. My first computer was a Commodore 64. And I'm not talking about Lionel Richie. And anybody who gets that joke, I will be very impressed. And stop Googling it. You have to get it without Googling it. That's right, Optimus. Now, did you actually finish? Let's see. Let's see what you missed, because I know better than to think you're done. Look at that. Dude, you suck. I can remember when I was in college, a friend of mine went out and bought a Commodore Amiga. Now, these were well beyond the Commodore 64 days. Amigas were good, solid machines. Kind of similar to a Macintosh, but they were built by Commodore. And when he bought it, I remember him telling us that he had upgraded his computer. He bought the upgrade package to 1 megabyte of RAM. We were incredulous. All we could do is look at him and say, what are you ever going to do with a whole megabyte of RAM? You'll never use it all. No exaggeration. The Apple II. The Apple II was the computer that my high school's computer lab had. There were like 10 of them. It was the first computer I ever did any kind of programming on. $2K expansion pack for the TS1000. One meg of RAM costs $100 and the hard drive was 20 megs. Yeah, that sounds about right. And we are blasting from the past right now, right? Yeah, Mr. Corbin, you're not younger than Sharko. That's for sure. You actually have about a decade on Sharko. Did I program on punch cards? I did not. I remember punch cards, though, because I used to go to, when I was in, like, junior high school, my dad was a janitor, and he used to clean a place called the Data Center on Saturdays. And sometimes he would take me to work with him. And yes, we're talking about an entire room filled with mainframe computers. And I'm not talking about a small room. I'm talking about a 50 by 50 room with all kinds of reels of magnetic tape and punch cards and yeah. I think Alan Turing worked there for a time. Oh, and if you guys get that particular joke, I will be very impressed as well. Yes, Harv may have a dry sense of humor. That'd be about the right time period, Eric. Oh, wow. The school board had a computer, but none of the schools did. Yeah, and now every kid walks to school with a computer in his pocket, right? Literally. No exaggeration. Do you realize that your cell phone has more computing power than the space shuttle did when it originally went up? The cell phone sitting next to you or in your pocket or purse has more computing power than the space shuttle did. Oh, they weren't standalone computer, Sharko. They were kind of built on a hub. That's what I had when we were in college, or when I was in college. What coaster graduated from high school in 1971? Wow. I was 5 years old that year. 5 years old. Oh, man. I hate when I do that. Oh, if they have more computer power than the moon, or than the space shuttle, they definitely have more computer power than the moon landing. It's a fair comparison, Eric. Because, for one, I wasn't talking about the Apollo computers. I was talking about the space shuttle, which computing had advanced significantly since the Apollo missions. But it's not like they were limiting their computer power just because they were deliberately keeping it to one function of navigation or something like that, you know. This is the government we're talking about. They're gonna build it as big as they can with the budget that they have. Yeah, exactly, Peter, right? Kids going to school need to have some type of device, even just to get through their classes anymore. How'd that happen? Welcome to the age of the slide rule. Well, we've got Steven in 72, Peter in 72. Dad says so. I'm sorry, dude. That is quite the name. Dad says so. Or Dad says so. Dad says so. Got it. I figured it out all by myself. Dad says so. 74. Look at you guys go. I always said Harv draws a more mature audience. I was not exaggerating. '78 for Eric, 2008 for Mr. Corbin. Never learned how to use a slide rule. Never needed one. I was the creative arts kid. I wasn't mathematically or scientifically inclined. Sharko graduated in 2019. Yeah, it took me a minute. It took me a minute. I'm just going to call you Dad now. But it's hard to tell because, you know, I mean, honestly, we have like a multicultural stream here. We get people from all over, and it almost looked like a word, like it could have been a word from some other language. And look at that. I backed that in there like I knew what I was doing. Holy crap. I actually really enjoyed being in school, and I wasn't terrible at anything. It's like, it's not like I can't do math, and it's not like I can't do science, but English was my favorite subject. Thanks to Gerald Ford, you got to work on the evacuation of the embassy in Saigon. Wow. A, that's a serious blast from the past, and B, that was a very, very difficult time for the United States, especially for our soldiers. I love Donkey Kong, Optimus. You got it going on like Donkey Kong. Hello, sheep. What are you standing there for? You're looking very sheepish today. How are we doing for feed over here? 3,300. Oh. Good thing I mowed that grass. We're just about out of grass for the sheep, too. I think the obvious one, Lifehawk, is going to be, what do all these buttons do? And what I mean by that is, what are all these settings for that I'm scrolling through right now? Especially seasons, and he's going to get to pick out, you know, he'll get to choose. I will advise, he will choose how the game starts. And then it's going to be looking at whatever starter farm that we start on. And pretty much figuring out, I will figure out kind of the best strategy going forward and explain to him why I think that. And if I know him, he'll argue with me about it. We have that kind of relationship. What size is this set to? I think I need to change it to 220 now. And, you know, starting off, I will probably explain what mods I had him install. And I will, whatever map we decide to go with, I will spend some time looking over that map, especially the new farmer mode, and seeing what its strengths are, what I consider might be some weaknesses, ways that we can change things up to get a more solid start for a beginner. That's what I did with the Ravenport walkthrough. So that's kind of the direction I'm heading right now. This isn't going to be go get Beck's mods and destroy the map kind of thing. It's going to be a very straight, I'm a brand new person to farming sim. I don't even know what all the terminology means necessarily. Get me started. Hopefully it will work out the way I have it in my head. Of course, you know how we plan things in our head and they never seem to come out the way you thought they were going to. But yeah, we'll see what happens. No, and that's something that I did not do that in Ravenport either. I very much let people choose for themselves. I had somebody the other day, actually, a new player still watching Ravenport, and he was disappointed that the series stopped at 10 episodes. And I'm like, at some point, you've got to play the game on your own. And I thought 10 episodes on Ravenport was pretty solid. It covered everything people needed to know. And then you got free reign to get out there and rock and roll. So, you want to cover enough so that you're teaching them what they need to know, but you need to leave them the leeway that they need to own what they're playing. Mine too, Optimus. My head is a very scary place. Yeah, and I'm a little bit concerned because when I made the Ravenport walkthrough, I was still very new to the whole farm sim genre. So I remember, or when I made that, I still knew what kind of sticking points new players might come up against. And I feel like I've gotten to a point now where I might be beyond that a little bit. Like I might not pick up as much on some of those little things that new players need to know anymore, but I'm going to do my best. I feel like me as a person, I have a very strong ability to be empathetic. So I think that's going to help me along the way with that too. We'll see. I'm not going to get all cocky and arrogant or anything, but we'll see what happens. Hopefully it'll work out well. I mean, the game, we did officially get the announcement that the game sold 3 million bloody copies this week. 3 million copies of Farming Simulator. It's Farming Sim, and they've sold 3 million copies. And if they're doing that much that soon, I imagine it's going to keep growing. And there's going to be plenty of new players out there who need instruction, so hopefully I can kill two birds with one stone, do some streaming for you guys, and get some tutorials recorded at the same time. That would be so helpful to me. He'll probably be doing grass for most of his learning experience because, well, it's grass. Well, that was one thing too. People have asked, are you going to do a walkthrough for FS22? And I really felt like a big part of the walkthrough that I did on Ravenport was having people install mods right up front. I don't think, especially a new player, and I know I did not. I had no clue how important mods were to this particular game. And so teaching them that importance up front, I think, is key. Because as we've said before, and we all agree, at least I've never heard anybody disagree, that, a farming game is fun for a while, but it would die pretty quickly if it wasn't for the mod makers always giving us some new toy to play with, especially the map makers. It's not to take away from the tractor and implement truck and car makers, but those new maps and having new places to go really makes a difference. That's a fair point, Lifehawk. He's not 100% noob. He's only like 85% noob because he's watched a lot of streams and videos. And he did play a smidge on FS19. Just not enough to feel like he ever really learned anything. So we'll get him hooked up. Just, I'll ask you guys to bear with me. Keep in mind that, this is going to be a teaching type stream. So one of the things I think I do really well is interact with you guys in chat and whatnot. Not to pat myself on the back. I enjoy talking to you guys. But it's going to be a little bit touch and go with that. So don't feel like I'm ignoring you. Please don't feel like it's not something I want to do. It's just this is going to be a little bit different type of stream. And I will catch back up with you very soon when I get a break in the whole educational portion of what's going on. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. You guys are awesome. You always have been awesome. So just giving you a heads up on that. That's all. Oh, Mr. Swede just getting home from work and going to bed. I know how that feels, brother. I really, really do. Oh, yeah. Well, luckily I needed more grass for my sheep, so this works out. I'll stack a few bales over there and be good for the year. I was the same way, Wet Coaster. Wet Coaster says I didn't load any mods until after I watched the walkthroughs. I was an old school gamer, and, what we learned back in the day was, mods were for hackers, basically. You didn't install mods. You never knew what you were going to get. It was a real hassle to install a mod for a game, and if you did, it could break your game, and it was all just bad news. Well, it turns out things had changed. And modding had changed significantly. And game companies were embracing these things. And I had, it was learning a new skill, basically. Well, that's a fair point too, Lifehawk. And that's something that I forget, and I'm sure a lot of us forget, is coming into this blind. If you don't have any real life agricultural experience, coming into this blind, and especially considering how profoundly a sandbox this series is, if you don't know anything about farming, agriculture, any of that, but it's interesting, something you want to do or learn about or are interested by, the learning curve on this game is exceptionally steep. It's very steep. Now, I'm not going to say it's Kerbal Space Program steep, but it's still bloody steep. So any kind of information that will help learn the game. But yeah, your point is well taken. Having a personal teacher would really speed up the process. To be perfectly honest, one of the reasons I'm helping my nephew with this is because he spent a lot of money on my merchandise. No, that's not true. Although he did buy his mother a Harv's World sweatshirt for Christmas, which I thought was pretty spectacular. My sister's a good woman. His mother. Like the rest of us, she's not perfect, but she tries as hard as she can. Yeah, exactly, Wet Coaster. That's right. Don't download mods, period. Eric, I'll tell you, I didn't know I was missing a wheel until I had a wheel. And now I'm not sure I could ever go back to keyboard and mouse. Yeah, see, I think Wet Coaster, now he's a little bit ahead of me, but I think we grew up on the same school of thought, man. Mods are bad, okay? Well, shoot. What I really want to do, you know, you know what I think I'm going to do? That's what I'm going to do. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is shut this thing down. I'm going to eject the bales. I don't care if they sit here for a little bit. Well, that's true too, Lifehawk. I, I'm one of those people. I don't like to ask a stupid question or appear to be foolish. You know, I believe it or not, and I think it's because I am that way. I genuinely do not believe there is such a thing as a stupid question. If you don't know, you just bloody don't know. That's all there is to it. So, you know, I realize on stream maybe asking a question in front of 30 people or whatever is not going to be pleasant for you, but you'll never be made fun of by me for asking a question. Because I really believe there is no such thing as a stupid question, and that's because we're not all the frickin' same, people. Everybody's different. They comprehend differently. They understand differently. Some of them have language barriers. So, you know, helping people comprehend, understand, do whatever they need to do to play the game. And there are those people who are just out there to be petty, and we see this in every bloody game, right, guys? Come on, tell me you haven't seen it. You're such a noob. What a stupid noob question. And the only reason they say that is to make themselves feel better about their insignificant selves. Oh, I can denigrate a noob because I'm superior. I know all this stuff, and I've known it since birth. I didn't even have to learn it. It was just automatically entered into my brain because I am superior in every way, and I have a tiny little... Anyway, now you're getting me on a soapbox. I hate that kind of ridiculous crap. That insecurity that forces people to make somebody else feel less so they can feel like more. Nothing makes me more angry. That's right, Sins. That's a really good way to look at it too, Gary. You know, asking a question that you know the answer to, but it was one that you didn't know. That's actually a very good strategy. I like that a lot. Exactly, Optimus. That's right. I knew somebody would pick up on that. We don't need to elaborate though. I talk about Adolphus Coors, but that's about as far from family friendly as I want to get. It's important to me that everybody be able to enjoy my content. I don't want to be one of those F-bombers. And trust me, Harv can be really vulgar sometimes, but you guys will never hear that. I can turn it off and on like a light switch. That's what comes from growing up with a very religious mother. That's a good point too, Wet Coaster. That's right. Knowledge is no good if you keep it to yourself. So, pretty much at this point, I can just fertilize these grass fields and then leave this grass and get it later. I guess technically I could let it grow again and mow it all and then just bale it all at the same time. Exactly, Optimus. It's those tiny little egos. That's what we're calling them these days. Oh, Sharko, you think you know. You ain't heard nothing yet, man. You have not heard Harv. No, 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 brother. You and Caveman, after streams, have heard a few things, but no, 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 no. No. Let's just say that on occasion, and no, you've never heard it, Sharko, Harv can be very rude, crude, and socially unacceptable. But I've already, created this wholesome image for everybody, so I feel like I'm raining on the parade now. I should stop that. How many times? And I've heard this so many times. It's funny, but I actually take it as a big, big compliment. People have said that I'm the Bob Ross of Farming Simulator. And if you don't know who Bob Ross is, he's the guy with the happy little paintings. The grass will not rot in the field, Wet Coaster. That does not happen. It will just sit here. Now, on FS19, if you were playing the modded version of Seasons, yes, your grass would have rotted in the field. You cannot do this if you're playing FS19 Seasons. But on standard FS22 or FS19, that is not an issue whatsoever. The grass will just sit here waiting for you to pick it up. There are no mistakes, just happy coincidences. Sharko spent all the money on the farm and drowned the Fent. Well, Sharko, at this point, you can't possibly shock me. So, how many times have you drowned my equipment and lost all my money? I can't even afford to get upset by it anymore. It's too stressful to get upset by it anymore. It happens too often. Well, that's fair, Eric. I understand your point. I get it. Yeah, my hair is a lot like Gene Wilder's hair in Young Frankenstein. No, actually, it's not. I think most of you has probably seen a picture of me at this point. My hair is nothing like that, but it would be kind of cool if it was. Go get me a, what do they call that? A light socket perm? Zzz. 20, it was only 18 million. And the Yukon will never be the same. Yes, Sharko, you drove Harv to drink. And we got some more flower pallets all loaded up. And you sit there, harvester. Oh, that's where the fent was. Okay. One last thing, and then it might be time for cotton. Forward, Harv, not reverse. Forward. Yes. What the heck was that crap? Snagged on something. The bales on the smaller field this time around are going to become sheep food. And I don't care. On these roly-poly hills, I'm not going back to the round bales. So I've got to figure out a new bale wrapping method. All right, Optimus, take care, man. Have a good night. What's the MVP map, Eric? I don't know. Anybody familiar with the MVP map? Sharko. That's okay. I earn money about 3 times faster than you do. So I'm going to hire my own personal SEAL team to come and sink your yacht. You'll never... Oh, that's that one oversized bale. Okay, that must have been left over in the baler. There we go. 28 bales of sheep food. And yes, they really are going to be left over for sheep food. Because I've already got like 140 bales of silage to sell. There we go. I have an interesting approach to my storage shed. Right up the backside. That didn't sound right, did it? Yeah, you know what I mean. Okay, guys, I need to step away for a few minutes. Is always kind of an MO on Friday nights. Mother Nature and I need to have a little bit of a chat, and so do Mr. Coors and I. So I will be back in a minute. Let me see if I can find some semi-decent music, faux YouTube crap to throw on for a little bit. What do we got? There we go. Something long. There you go. All right, guys. I'll be right back. Oh, I think I timed that just about right. I think I did, actually. Let's drop the baler right here. I'm going to head down to the cotton fields. We're going to sleep overnight and see what we can't do about harvesting up this cotton. I think it should be ready in October. Oh. Almost tried to jump the fence. I still got that big bale sitting there. I'll come get it later. 401 is code for file not found. For some reason, I run into that code a lot. Usually it's when I'm trying to access my brain. I should have like a rubber stamp on my forehead that says code 401. Harv's file not found. Now, for anybody who didn't see in the past, these are my cotton fields. They stretch as far as the eye can bloody see. It's ridiculous how much cotton I've planted. I hope it nets me something halfway decent. Now, keep your fingers crossed. Alright, the first thing I'm going to do while I'm thinking about it is set my store deliveries to right here. Then I'm going to sleep. We're not going to go to 6. We're going to go to 7 because it's too bloody dark in the morning. Right, Eric? When I get to 10K subs, I won't even be able to read chat. From your mouth to God's ears, brother. I got to tell you. From your mouth to God's ears. Do we have anything good on sale today? Nothing. And I'm not doing bloody potatoes. So we are looking for cotton technology. Somebody said use the John Deere. I think it was Jonathan. But look at the price. $847,000 for 6 meters versus $485,000 for 6 meters. What am I going to do? I'm going to go red. Abso-floggin-lutely. And yes, we definitely want GPS on this bad boy. And we're going to lease this at $25,000. And we're going to do that twice. Otherwise, we will be here until the next eternity. And yes, look at that. My cotton fields are ready to harvest. As anticipated. Very nice indeed. First thing I'm going to do is schlep a helper on this bad boy right about there. Get on it, brother. Go harvest some cotton. I'm going to take this other one. Well, okay, John Deere has a storage tank, so I don't have to stop. Is that storage tank worth $400,000 for half the size of a bale? Because I only get a 10,000 liter bale instead of a 20,000 liter bale. I mean, seriously. $10,000 instead of $20,000, but I don't have to stop. I think I can afford to stop. I'm going to get our GPS working on this for sure. Why are you not harvesting? I pushed the lower header button, but it didn't. It rejected my efforts to lower the header. There we go. Now we're harvesting some cotton. And away we go. Spinnery. FS22 should add the ability to deliver newspapers. Why do we want to deliver newspapers? Although, A paper factory would be a really nice addition to forestry. Forestry and paper go hand in hand, so that would be actually a really nice addition if somebody made a paper factory. Newsprint, toilet paper, paper towels, all of that kind of stuff could be done easily with forestry. That would be pretty cool. Yeah, there's a little bit of cotton out here, Sharko. A little bit, but I've got a new spinnery now and a new tailor shop, so we need all of it we can get. For contracts, the John Deere's better. Okay. All right, Sharko, man, you take care, buddy. Have a good night. 4 weeks, 20 papers. That's two. That's $2 plus tip. Wow, we'd be wealthy farmers delivering newspapers. Hey, Rob, how you doing, man? Welcome to Harv's World. That's right, Yokes. I want my $2. I want my $2. And that's basically 2,000 liters on our first pass. So that's 10% of a load, 10% of a bale. Not going to complain about that. Come on, swing your butt around there, Mr. Case. Come on. Let's go. I want to be here all day. Well, Eric, you keep asking about the differences between FS19 and FS22. The productions are probably the biggest one. And I personally think it's an important addition. I think it makes sense that, your farming has further purpose to it. It adds a little bit of depth beyond I'm harvesting my wheat, I'm going to sell it to the highest bidder, and I'm going to go plant more wheat and sell it to the highest bidder, and I'm going to go plant more wheat and sell it to the highest bidder, and I'm going to plant more wheat and sell it to the highest bidder. Global Company did for Farm Sim what Realismus did with their Seasons mod, just in a different way. Seasons brought us new aspects of gameplay. Global Company brought us new aspects of gameplay, just a different type of new aspect. But they both made the game a lot more enjoyable for people who've been playing it for a long time. That's fair, Eric. I mean, I'm not saying 22 is for everybody, or don't go with something that obviously you can't. I mean, and don't ever think that I will ever knock FS19. Not a chance that will ever happen. Seriously, 19 was a fantastic version, in my opinion. Granted, it was the first I ever started with. But, that is a strong. I was playing FS19 tonight. I literally was playing FS19 tonight for a couple of hours. Because I am still playing FS19 for my Off the Grid series on Wilhelmina Forest. So, no. In fact, the next Off the Grid's going to show you an interesting an interesting mod that I've never seen anybody else use before. Maybe they have. It's not like I get out and watch a lot of videos anymore. I just don't have time, but well, Dad, I got to tell you, my on FS19 at least, my Pirates Bay, Pineapple Bay series, we made rum. That was the whole goal of the series, was to make rum, and we did it. And I think vodka and something else. I think whiskey maybe too. So there was a global company distillery. Now, Giants obviously wants to keep their game family friendly. You might be able to find third-party mods out on like Mod Network or something like that. I do know that someone has done a brewery already where you can make beer, and I believe there's a winery out there also for FS22. The bone that I have to pick, and it's a huge bone, it's something I'm incredibly adamant about, and it seems like a minor thing, but it's so annoying to me, is that these modders keep going FS19 style, and they want you to haul frickin' water to their factories, which is the most ridiculous concept I have ever heard in my life. And I've got all the respect in the world for the modders. Come on, guys. You have to know how much I love and respect our modding community. But modding community, come on. You know, get with the program. You find one factory outside of Perrier that hauls water to a factory, and I will send you a check right now for $5.27. Because I can't really afford any more than that, but you know what I mean. It's like, it's a factory. There are, it's 2022. We have a water supply to hook these buildings up to. So why am I hauling truckloads of water that's going to cost me a fortune to haul? No, all right. Soapbox off. Yeah, Peter, I mean, we're still waiting on more maps. We are still waiting on more maps to come out for FS22, especially on the Mod Hub. There are quite a few drops that are happening out there. In fact, I know that Kaz64, who's one of my personal favorite map makers, has already released the Wild West map, which was probably the one he really got noted for originally. It was the one everybody was talking about. That has released for FS22. It's on Papa Smurf modding. It would be nice to see Wilhelmina Forest or a few more forestry maps. Mr. Swede sent me one. It really wasn't kind of up my alley, but there is a forestry map out there, and I'm sorry I can't remember the name right now. If Mr. Swede is still with us, maybe he can fill us in. But it was okay, you know. But it was definitely, a map where you're going to get into some very, very heavy forestry. Yotes Fork? Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. I don't think Giants would ever allow that. Which is kind of odd because Germany is very, very, very known for beer production. Very known for beer production. But I think strictly from a, just a developer perspective, keeping that off the Mod Hub could be important to them. I can't speak for them. I'm not a Giants ambassador or anything, but it seems to me they want a very wholesome, family-friendly type of game. Obviously, they can't control the third-party mods, so that's my personal take on it anyway. Oh, the first Ricci map is out already. Ricci Creek. See, I never got to play the Ricci maps either. Just so many maps in so little time. Let me see if I can actually officially find that map name. Mr. Sweet. Oh no, it was it's called Peracula. Perakula. And it's on FS22planet.com. That's the map that Mr. Swede was pointing out to me. I agree with you, Dad. Absolutely. Yeah, and who knows what the laws are in Germany, right? Actually, one of the we've had people here from many, many, many countries. In fact, we had somebody in earlier from South Africa, but I don't recall anybody ever dropping in from Germany. Oh, okay, Altoona. So Ricci Creek, you started today. Nice. The Ricci maps had a lot of interesting, unique features built into them too. I wish I'd had more opportunity to play them. I don't disagree with you, Gary. Not at all. Like I said, I can't say that I can say specifically why Giants is not permitting it, but all of the global company mods that came out previously, and there were a couple dozen of them on the mod hub, Giants did not. I mean, and maybe the mod makers just never submitted them. I don't know, but there were never any alcohol related mods on the mod hub that I recall. It's either a Giants thing or they have such a large U.S. audience, Rob, that particular function or the particular people who would get offended by that in the United States have prevented it in some way. And I could actually see that happening. Eric, that's actually an interesting thing about FS22 is that Giants will not allow brand names. Those of you who are big fans of 82 Studios mods, now in FS20 or FS19, FS or 82 Studios was a big brand name. When 82 Studios submits a mod now, Giants will not allow 82 Studios to attach their name to the mod in any way other than to say that they built it. They can't have, any kind of graphics on their mod. Nothing can say 82 Studios. It's got to be generic. Oh, you did find a decent winery, Rob? If that winery is hauling water, it's not decent. We might get a full bale out of this yet. I think this whole field is going to net me about one bale. And I see my helper over there hasn't dropped a bale yet either. What was I thinking? Well, it's not as bad as sugar beets, right? Right. Yes, Eric. And those are third-party mods. You're not going to find Pepsi, Coke, and Doritos on the Mod Hub, I can assure you. Get thee to a winery, which is a play on get thee to a nunnery. Although I would say get thee to a brewery. Now there was actually in 19 there was a really good distillery mod. A really good distillery mod that I used on Pineapple Bay, Pirates Bay. My long lost aunt that I didn't even know existed lived in the Caribbean. And it turns out that she had long lost relatives who were pirates. And she had one of their old rum recipes. And I was bound and determined to make the rum from that recipe. Well, honey can make mead, Eric. You just have to find the right third-party mod. Popcorn something? Like popcorn shrimp? I want to know why Giants doesn't add peanuts. Here's a little agricultural fun fact for you all. Did you know that there's actually such a thing as peanut hay? Oh yeah, there's peanut hay. In the south, the southeast of the United States, where they grow a lot of peanuts, there's actually a special crop that they can plant. I don't think it produces the legumes, the actual peanuts, the way we think of peanuts. It produces a lot more greenery above the soil. But even when they do harvest peanuts, all of that greenery above the soil gets turned into hay. It's apparently a really good cattle feed. Oh, okay, Eric. Well, I know Kaz64 added with Island Life. He started adding a whole bunch of productions to his maps, and one of them was a Moonshiner's Hut. So you could make moonshine on the Island Life map, which was pretty cool, actually. You know what's cool about the cotton harvester? You've got this big, wide open frickin' window. And yes, that's me in there wearing my Fent jacket. Unfortunately, I can't get a Fent hat because John Deere has 2 hats and there's not a single Fent hat to wear. What's up with that? There you go, Yotes. That's what I'm talking about. The underrated peanut that's used for a lot more than just putting on top of our ice cream sundaes. Well, thanks for looking that up. I actually really appreciate that. My neck of the woods, it's all alfalfa. Everybody around here grows alfalfa, and we make and sell tons, hundreds of thousands of tons of alfalfa hay here. Right, Sins? It does suck. 2 John Deere hats and no Fent hat. And I am not wearing a John Deere hat. Purely out of spite for the fact that they couldn't even add a Fent hat. Giants, get with the Fenton program. We need a mod to use wood chips as bedding. I absolutely agree, Eric. Wood chips need a higher purpose. Again, paper mill, that would actually make wood chips worth doing. That's actually not as far from the truth as you might think, Farm and Sins. There is a huge influx of peanut allergy out there. I got in trouble with my, well, not really in trouble, but, told that the word influx was not proper language by my boss this week. I needed to use plainer language. Oh, there you go, Wet Coaster, an IKEA factory. I don't think these cotton fields are going to yield too poorly. And God knows I've got plenty of time to prep them before they get planted again. And they're all going to be merged together next time. This is going to be one massive frickin' cotton field. Although if my tutorial plan comes to fruition, this might be the last time you guys see this Ehrlengrat map. Nah, IKEA is mostly pressboard. Although it is, I will say it's high quality pressed board. I honestly don't think IKEA makes bad furniture. But I won't say IKEA makes good furniture either. Will do, Kev. Will do. You have a good night, brother. Take care, man. We'll talk soon. I think that's a great idea, too. Oh, we're full. We're full. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. That is one big honking bale. What country are you in, Dad? If you don't mind my asking. You don't have to tell me, but I am curious. Oh, nice. I don't think we ever had anybody from the Philippines, so good to have you with us. I used to know a lady who spent a great time in New Guinea, which isn't too far away from you. IKEA makes the best of what a person can afford. It may wobble, but hey, you didn't spend that much on something decently nice. Harley, you kill me. I agree, Eric. The scrap wood the sawmill does should count as firewood or make wood chips. I think they need to think more about wood chips and what those wood chips could be used for. I really do. No exaggeration. I think wood chips get the short end of the stick. They're not all that valuable to begin with, and then there's nothing you can do with them. Is IKEA from Norway or Sweden? I know it is. I know it's one of the Scandinavian countries. I just can't remember which one off the top of my head. From what I recall, IKEA sells really good meatballs too, by the way. Swedish meatballs. A sense. That's great. That's a fair point too, Rob. IKEA furniture is more dangerous if you have spare parts at the end. That's right, Sweden. That's right. Hence the Swedish meatballs. Although I got to tell you, the short time I spent in Scandinavia on my Baltic Sea series, I learned enough to know that I'd really love to go there. Oh yeah, Eric. Yeah. Got the t-shirt on that one, brother. At least particle board, Peter. Some kind of particle board, absolutely. I can remember back in my truck driving days driving out into the peninsula of Washington State, over in your neck of the woods, Harley Quinn, just to go to a paper mill out in the middle of the forest, back on logging roads, to pick up a load of grocery bags, actually. That was an interesting trip. Nice wet coaster, nice. Exactly, Eric. Absolutely. We had a chipboard factory on PV Uncharted. PV Uncharted had a lot of stuff you could do with wood chips. Thinking way outside the box, way beyond what Giants came up with. Hello, Corey. How are you? It's generally considered not polite to walk into somebody's stream and start recruiting people for your own. Just FYI, brother. At least not without asking. But Harv's not a stickler. Cleveland wants to ban plastic bags and bring paper back. Well, I understand the point. Paper biodegrades, plastic doesn't. But plastic can be recycled. 6 of 1. Little column A, little column B. Okay, Corey. Well, I just noticed your message asking about Twitch and NASCAR. Okay, maybe I misunderstood. Sometimes type is easy to misunderstand. So my apologies if I misunderstood the point. All I really care about right now is getting this stupid cotton harvested so I can make fabric and sell a lot of clothes for a buttload of money. Eric. We were actually talking about moonshine earlier, and for anybody who doesn't know, NASCAR was actually created because of the moonshiners. The Vasa Museum. I think I've actually seen pictures of that, Yotes. I actually do. Was the Vasa... Oh, man, I'm trying to think of this now. I got brain cells that don't want to work. It's too late on a Friday night. Was that the one... Was the Vasa the one some king had built, and it didn't even like survive its maiden voyage. It like it like sank almost immediately, and then they yeah, I think we're on the same page, Joke. I think I remember now. Yep. It was very advanced for its time, though. It had like a lot of advanced weaponry, a lot of stuff that you would see on more of a modern day ship than you would have expected to see in something in the 1600s. Yeah, I think I'm remembering that correctly now. Well, we got 26,000, almost 27,000 liters of cotton off of that field. About to start a career in racing and try to qualify for the NASCAR race on the 18th. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Yotes. Call me crazy, but I think harvesting cotton in October is a little off the mark. And you would not be the first person to call me crazy. I really don't see cotton being ready in October. There you go, Eric. Own every field on Ravenport. Take $10 million to Mercury Farms. 64 guns. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And this was the 1600s. I mean, guns weren't even really quite a thing yet. Well, I mean, they called cannons guns also, so I get your point. Racing to win $100,000. Very cool. I could never do it. Farm sim is exciting as I get these days. I don't have the reflexes for it anymore. You guys ever notice that the back wheels on these cotton harvesters turn about 90 degrees? Well, I wish you the best of luck, Corey. We have a guy who stops in from time to time. I met a long time ago. His name is Newall, and he's a big, big racing guy. He does a lot of racing stuff on his channel. And I'm not talking about like, just 5-lap races type stuff. I mean, he does like marathon style car races on his channel. It's pretty interesting to watch sometimes when I have a chance to watch, which I don't anymore, but still. You've been playing the racing games. You can't farm anymore. It's too slow. I've got no arguments about my wheel, Eric. The Logitech heavy equipment bundle. I mean, yeah, it's not it's not going to be a G29 or whatever the best racing wheel is from Logitech right now, but I love it. It's solid. The steering on it is very, very nice. 190 laps. Good Lord. I don't even want to do something fun for 190 laps. Yeah. ATS was a bit tedious for me. All right, Gary, take care, man. Have a great night, bud. Yotes, it works for Xbox. I was told recently, very recently, that it has not been integrated for PlayStation yet. Do not quote me on that. You should probably do a little bit of research, but I think we had somebody in the Wednesday stream who was asking about it, and Sharko specifically said that he knew that the heavy equipment bundle was not compatible with PlayStation for FS22 yet. Man, that guy still hasn't finished that other field. He's taking his bloody sweet time, right? GSIs are the best wheels. What I like about the heavy equipment bundle, and people have said, Well, Harv, you've got this control right on your wheel and this control right on your wheel. I don't like the controls on the wheel. I love the side panel, and the reason is the side panel is static. So I can train muscle memory to click this button or that button or that button. On the wheel, I'm constantly turning the wheel, so the controls are constantly changing to different positions. And I don't always know quite where they're going to be. So for me personally, I prefer the side panel to any control on the wheel. I do use some of the controls on the wheels, but they're always controls where I know it's going to be in a static position. Like if I'm parked and I've got to start my tractor, yeah, I can do that from the wheel because I'm not driving anywhere. Yeah, Corey, I've heard both sides of it. Some people are like, "Oh, get the wheel, but don't waste money on the side panel. It's not worth it," and blah blah blah. And I mean, to be fair, I'm not a controller guy. I never have been, and I never wanted to use a controller. But so this is really the first thing I've ever really used like this. But man, I can tell you right now, I almost wish I'd never gotten into it because I know I can't live without it now. No chance. Well, Eric, I'm pretty sure you're in the Discord, aren't you? And I'd be happy to share the stand that I bought for mine. Mine would not attach to my desk. I don't have a big enough lip on my desk to clamp everything on, so I did buy a stand for it, which I'm actually grateful for because it allows me to just pick everything up and move it out of the way when I need to use my computer for something besides farm sim. So it's funny, Corey. You're talking about racing games. Back in the day, I used to love racing games. Now I've got a wheel, and I'm not that interested in it anymore. Although I have messed around with Wreckfest a little bit. Nothing like bashing the crap out of a few dozen other cars to take some stress off your day. Oh wait, that is NASCAR, isn't it? I will do that, Utes. I'll have to. I bought it from Amazon, and it's a little bit tricky to put together because, frankly, the instructions aren't that great. But once you get it together, it is rock solid. This stand is not going anywhere. It's got good weight to it, so it's not like you're going to push it around. Um, but yeah, I'll see if sometime this weekend, If you don't see me post something about it, send me a DM and remind me that I said I was going to do that, because guys, I got a lot to keep track of these days, and helping me out a little bit with stuff like that is as silly as it might sound sometimes, it does make a big difference, and I appreciate the help. So if you haven't heard from me in 48 hours or so, just throw a DM at me and say, hey Harv, what stand was that you were talking about? And I will be happy to hook you up. Jason Goodnow, how are you doing, man? Nice to see you dropping in and joining us tonight. Just some casual farm sim cotton harvesting for the first time here on Ehrlengrat, because I have a brand new spinnery and a brand new thingy that makes clothes. Tailor shop. And hopefully I will have some brand new dollars to put in my brand new bank account. New springs for your pedals. And so you're getting serious about this. Like, oh, these pedals are too soft. I've got to have more powerful springs, and that will make me a better NASCAR driver. It's all good, Corey. It's all good. Come on, Case. Move it. No worries, man. Like I said, text doesn't always translate well. It's one of the things that those of us who work in the business world, for lack of, really, you think you're done with this field? You think you're done with this field, and there's all of that cotton sitting there? Are you freaking kidding me? A $2,000 wheel and $1,500 pedals? Dude, you've already spent the money that you could win on that NASCAR game. I hope you win to compensate for some of that. Man, dude. This right here is the downside of FS22 helpers. And yeah, 22 has much better helpers than 19 did, and they still do this crap. They cannot navigate more than like a 1 degree angle on the edge of a field. Why? We could ask why all day long and never get a satisfactory answer. Duh. I know, but you're spending all that money before you even win, man. I guess what I'm really saying is I hope it's worth it. And as long as you get enjoyment out of it, that's really all that matters. That makes it worth it, right? Abso-flogging-lutely. Besides, I'm a crotchety old fart who doesn't believe in spending money on anything that isn't absolutely necessary. That's not entirely true, but I can poke a little fun at myself every once in a while. You and Tom Cruise, you feel the need for speed. Now you're 40. All right. Your racing rig will cost 20 grand. Wow, dude. I can't even afford a new computer, and I really need one at this point if I'm going to continue to doing what I'm doing. Like, FS22 is pushing the limits of what my machine is even capable of. And I'm concerned about the fact that right now that's going to cost me between $4,000 and $6,000. And I don't got that money to spend. So the fact that you can run out and buy a $20,000 racing rig, 3 cheers to you, brother. 4, 5, 6, 8, 10, 12 cheers to you, my friend. Abso-flogging-lutely. I don't think I could handle VR either. That would be a bit much. So right now on the field we've got 40,000 liters worth of bales. I've got another 17,000 here. I should get another 20 before that doofus over there takes over the cotton I need to finish out this bale. When I hit 20 grand, I'm going to quit on this guy and finish up on the other one. Oh, well, Corey. I appreciate the thought, man. Thank you very much. I don't think I'm going to be entering any $100,000 farming contests anytime soon, so I'll be rooting for you, man, in a big, big way. Yeah, we'll get our final bale off of this before that guy finishes up. That would actually be really cool, Eric. Closet-size holodecks. Although, you do realize, Eric, and you have to understand that if we had holodecks, you know who's going to run them, right? It's going to totally be the porn industry that runs holodecks. That's where they're going to come for. Oh, nice, Corey. Thank you, man. I know you're not much of a sim farmer these days. That's our focus on the Discord, but I'm glad you joined us, man. I mean, holodecks are cool and all, but let's not mince words here. The porn industry will own them. They will introduce them. And they will control them. And they will cost a fortune. Holy crap, Corey. Starting on the 1st, need to go from rookie to, I don't know what A 2.0 is, but that sounds extreme to me the way you're phrasing it. You got a lot of work ahead just to qualify. Well, thanks, Corey. Corey, you've been around for a long time, man. You have been around for a long, long time. I appreciate the support, bud. – I can't disagree with you, Yotes. Holodecks will turn into Total Recall. Yeah, can't disagree with you on that. I feel like the closer we get to robotics, or sort of androidism, the closer we get to Blade Runner. Personally, oh, and there it is, one more bale coming out. And there is no point to continue to run this particular harvester. Jonathan Bear. Oh yeah, now John, we're 3 hours into the stream, Jonathan, and you are just signing up. OMFGWTF, brother. And yes, you know I'm just messing with you. Glad to have you with us as always, my friend. Tabletop robotics. I used to know a guy. I'm not going to say I particularly liked this guy, but I used to know a guy who was the coach for his kids. It was like a Lego robotics team. You know, Lego has these robotics deals now. And they go to high schools and junior high schools and whatnot. They have these robotics competitions, and yeah, he coached his kids' team. Japan made a real Gundam, but was that Gundam Gangnam Style? That's really what's important, right? It's got to be Gangnam Style. Come on, Mr. Helper, drive this frickin' thing. Let's go. Move it. I'm paying you enough. Get with the program. Oh, well, that explains it. He's got this big handlebar mustache on. That's why. Anybody who wears a mustache like that can't drive a cotton harvester, and I'm paying him for this. Yes, I know I'm ridiculous sometimes. I don't care. I don't care. It's casual frickin' Friday, people. Yeah, we're harvesting cotton, but that's not the point. The point is, just chill. And no, I'm not talking Netflix and chill. Just chill. Forget about the Netflix. This is no freaking Netflix. Although, I am looking for something new to watch, so if you know of any really good series on Netflix or on Amazon Prime, let me know. Because I could stand to get hooked up. Oh, by nature, I'm a dork, Corey. I just say whatever crap comes to mind and hope somebody gets a smile out of it. And it's been a long freaking week, dude. Really long week. Oh, that's a good point, Eric. Oh my God, Caveman made us do sugarcane on Wednesday. It was brutal, freaking brutal. Okay, it wasn't that bad, but still, it's sugarcane. I have not watched The Expanse. I have not. I'm although I did binge watch both seasons of The Witcher recently. I was about to say I'm more into realistic type series, real people, real things happening, or potentially real things, kind of Breaking Bad type stuff. But I did binge watch The Witcher, so I can't really say that. I will tell you one series on Netflix that I got a kick out of. I'm not going to say it's family friendly because it's really not, but it's a small series called Sex Education. I actually thought it was pretty darn funny. Yeah, that's a fair point, Eric. I don't know what Sugar's going to pay Caveman yet in FS22, but he got a lot of bloody sugarcane, and it's going to regrow. Yeah, I don't subscribe to Disney Plus. I've got Showtime and I've got Cinemax on Amazon right now, and I should drop the Cinemax. I picked them up for something for like a 7-day trial, and then forgot to cancel the 7-day trial. The last Corey, I have watched The Last Kingdom. That's the one about the Viking, right? The English guy who was captured by the Vikings and was raised as a Viking. That is very, very, very good. I have seen all of that because I was talking about Vikings on my Scandinavia series. F is for family. Tacoma FD. Chicago Fire. Oh. Cowboy Bebop. What's Cowboy Bebop about? There is one there. If you're into Wild West type shows, or at least that era, I think it's on Netflix. It's called Godless, and it was very, very good also. Uthred, that's right, Corey. Yes. Yeah, The Last Kingdom is very, very good. I would put it right up against Vikings. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 80,000 liters of cotton. Oh, yeah. Okay. I don't do anime. I have to be honest with you. You guys who love it, I know there are lots and lots of you. Um, I know lots and lots of you like anime. I'm not an anime guy. No offense to anybody, it's just not my thing. I know, Jonathan. Kevin on Off the Grid keeps just. We've got those sugar beets in the silo, and he's like, Harv, we got to make sugar. 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 I cut out a place in the forest for him to build a sugar factory, so it's up to him now. He wants sugar so bad, go build a factory, Kevin. Yotes, I did watch the very first season of Narcos. I started on the second, and it wasn't catching my interest. Although, if you like documentaries, the Ted Bundy tapes is fantastic. And I'm pretty sure that's on Netflix. The Ted Bundy tapes is a really, really good documentary. All right, everybody likes what they like, and they're entitled to like what they like. I'm kind of interested to see that myself, Jonathan. Yeah, me too, Peter. It seems like the older I get, the more I would just rather watch a documentary. That's what I look at first now. And I love movies. I absolutely love movies. But I just keep going back to documentaries anymore. Well, people are going to like what they like. That's why, I asked any recommendations. That's cool. And I'll say, anime is not my thing. I can't get into anime. Very few cartoon shows that I do get into, although Archer really, really kills me. Archer cracks me up. But, that's just the nature of the beast. That that raises an interesting question. Okay, yeah, there's only one line left over there. I need lime on all of this already? Are you freaking kidding me? Holy crap, I'm going to be liming for the rest of my life. Well, good, Jonathan. I'm glad you enjoyed that. Believe it or well, I'm sure you'll believe it, but yeah, you made a comment a couple weeks ago about how you wanted to see more of your particular street. So I deliberately did that, thinking of you, man. Archer is hilarious. Oh my god, Archer just bloody kills me. Yep. Archer is just it's vulgar and not vulgar at the same time. You know what I mean? Like okay, it's pretty vulgar, but still it just cracks me up. If you ever hear me say something like little column A, little column B, I know people who love Family Guy. I've never seen it. I should probably try to watch Family Guy sometime because I've heard so many wonderful things about it. Get this cotton harvester out of here. I've paid too much money. That's 50 grand. I better make more than 50 grand off this crop. That's all I can say. Okay, so we need to turn this crap back in. Two cotton harvesters that are both empty at this point. Excellent. Now I need to go back to my implements, cotton technology. And I'm going to need the semi. I could pull one at a time. Ah, screw it. I'm going to pull one at a time. It's half the price. That way I can just run the fent. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I've got 5 bales. I did. Oh, there's my trailer right there. So I've got over 100,000 liters of cotton going over to my new spinnery. Family Guy is funny in an effed up kind of way. That's kind of if you ever watched Californication, that's my kind of funny. Californication is one of the funniest stupid shows I have ever seen. No, that's not what I wanted to do. That's what I wanted to do. Back up, pick up the stupid bale. Come on. There we go. Damn it, Bobby. King of the Hill was pretty funny. Although, to be fair, I was a big Beavis and Butthead fan, too. Oh, look at that big old wheat field sitting there. That's a beauty. I've heard a lot about Sunny in Philadelphia. I have not had an opportunity to check it out yet. There we go. Really? Oh, there it goes. Okay, I was like, no, you literally cannot leave that bale sitting there. Oh, Young Sheldon? I actually never watched The Big Bang Theory, believe it or not. I don't have cable TV. I haven't had cable in ages. I just subscribe to streaming platforms, Netflix and Amazon. Honestly, that's pretty much where I'm at. That's right, Corey. I am the great Cornholio. I need teepee for my bunghole. Do you have teepee? The problem with watching reruns of Beavis and Butthead now is that some of the best bits in that show were based on music videos, and for licensing reasons, they have to cut all that out. It's a shame because that was some really hilarious crap. When they would sit there and rip on music video, they'd sit on the couch in their little house there and watch music videos on MTV because that's where they got their start. Will you load the frickin' bale? No. I'm doing it wrong. Oh yeah, cable costs are just through the roof anymore. Everything is through the roof anymore. Every freaking thing. Dad, no, I can't do Abbott and Costello. Can't do Abbott and Costello. I'm not a Three Stooges fan. And honestly, I grew up on that stuff, and that's probably why. I grew up on Abbott and Costello and the Three Stooges and the Bowery Boys. If you like Abbott and Costello, go look up some old Bowery Boys movies. You'd get a kick out of them. But yeah, that's way in my past and not really something I look for these days. And if you're watching Abbott and Costello, don't forget the Marx Brothers. Groucho, Harpo, Chico, and there was actually more than three, but I think only those three really made it in the movies. Titans, huh? Oh, come on. I wasn't off by that much. There we go. Well, don't forget MASH, Jonathan. If you're going to go back and watch old 70s and 80s shows, don't forget about MASH. And I actually thought Newhart was better than the Bob Newhart show. Hi, my name's Daryl. My name's Larry. This is my brother Daryl, and this is my other brother Daryl. You really won't take more cotton than this? Nope, it just was not jacked in properly. Okay. Note to self. Make sure that when you put the cotton in that it does not get pushed back too far. I think MASH, the final episode of MASH, still has the largest TV audience of all time. I think they still hold that record. Oh, 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 oh! Oh, that was close. Almost got clocked by a train. Come on. The train's been gone for like 17 minutes now. Can I go? Thank you. Oh, you can't stand Alan Alda? That's a shame. I liked Alan Alda. Yeah, to each their own. Excuse me while I kiss this train. See, this is one of the reasons I love the Fendt 1050. It's quick for a tractor. Very quick. There you go, Corey. I was there. I saw it when it aired on national television. I had a tear in my eye. MASH had been a big part of growing up for me. As crazy as that may sound, it was huge in the national eye in those days. Surely my spinnery is not full. It is full. Holy shnikes, Batman. It's got all the bloody frickin' cotton it can hold. And it hasn't even kicked out a single pallet of fabric yet. Cheers was a great show too. In fact, I'm a big a pop figures guy. You know, the pop figurines, the vinyl figurines. And I have got Norm and Cliff from Cheers. I'm looking at them right now as we speak. What's shaking, Norm? All 4 cheeks and a couple of chins. That's right. MASH was the Korean War, not Vietnam. Wrong button. How's life, Norm? It's a dog-eat-dog world, and I'm wearing milk bone underwear. Yeah, I can't say I disagree with you, Ben. Kirstie Alley was not nearly as good as Diane Chambers. Whatever her actress name was. Diane Chambers was her show name. I don't remember. The only other thing I remember seeing her in was a movie called Night Shift with Henry Winkler and Michael Keaton, which, by the way, is hilarious if you ever have a chance to watch it. I mean, come on, what's not funny about 2 guys who work in a morgue who decide to become pimps? Seriously. Last cotton bale going over. And we can ship this mofo right back. Right back where it belongs. There you go, Corey. Shelley Long, thank you. Yeah, nothing there with value. Alright, guys, 3.5 hours. Feels like I just got started here. Night Court was good too. Absolutely, Jonathan. Man, Friday night streams keep getting longer and longer. Not that I'm complaining, mind you. Not that I'm complaining at all. Just saying, all of a sudden it's 3.5 hours later. I think that's going to do it for me, guys. It's been an awesome stream, though. You guys have been fantastic. Really good conversation tonight. I very much appreciate it. It keeps me going. It really does. No exaggeration. Anyway, I think that's going to do it, everybody. I hope you all have a fantastic weekend. Rest up, get ready for Monday morning, whatever your schedule is, whatever your plan is. Do your thing. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, guys, everybody go get some sleep. I'm going to. In a little bit. Anyway. I very much appreciate you all coming along for the ride. And as always, until next time, take care.